What's going on, everyone? In this video, I'm going to be giving you 5 different tips to hopefully help you improve your video editing workflow and to hopefully help improve your video editing workflow and to hopefully giving you 5 different tips to help improve your editing. Let's try that again. What's going on, everyone? In this video, I'm going to be giving you 5 different editing tips to help you improve your video editing workflow and to hopefully help you make better videos along the way. Let's get into the video. Nailed it! So if you are new here, my name is Jacob Scott. I make photography and filmmaking videos like this one every single week. So if that is something of interest to you, be sure to go down below and hit the subscribe button. But with that out of the way, tip number 1 is use adjustment layers when you are video editing. And what I often use them for is for my color grade. Now, the reason that I do this is it helps save a ton of time and actually makes editing go a lot faster. Well, I guess that would mean it would save a lot of time. For example, here in Premiere Pro, as you can see, I have these random clips just in the timeline for an example. And if I right click in a new bin and hit new item, you can see I can hit adjustment layer. Now, once I make this adjustment layer, I can drag it onto my timeline and bring it over all my clips. Now, essentially think of an adjustment layer as like a clear piece of glass that you can put effects over that affect everything underneath the adjustment layer. So this adjustment layer, seeing I have no effects on it right now, it's not affecting these clips at all, but it will affect all of these clips seeing it is dragged over them. Now, for example, what is adjustment layers actually good for after that's all explained? Instead of, say, for example, putting a color grade preset on each individual clip, I can just go ahead and drag it onto the adjustment layer and it's gonna affect every single clip under it. So if you have a main A-roll, you can have an adjustment layer for that, but that is essentially what adjustment layers are really good for just batching presets onto, certain clips that would use the same presets anyways. Also, the next really good thing about adjustment layers is, for example, when I have this preset on, as you can see, it makes me drop some frames when video editing and it slows down the computer. Instead of going and turning the individual effect off on each and every single clip, I can easily just turn the adjustment layer off and continue to edit. No frames drop at all. So that's really the awesome things about adjustment layers. Tip number 2 is super easy and it's one that will save you a ton of time, especially in the long run, and that is favorite folders right in the media browser in Premiere Pro. So when you do this, you don't even have to leave Premiere Pro for the most part because you're not going to have to go and search for media. So if there's certain media that you're often using, such as music, or for example, on this YouTube channel, I use music all the time. I use certain end screens and certain stock that I use for my YouTube videos all the time. Instead of going out and searching for those folders all the time, I can go ahead, right click on the folder in media browser and just hit add to favorites. That way it's there all the time and I'm not even gonna have to leave Premiere Pro at that point. It just helps speed up workflow and is one more thing to help cut some time off the clock. Now, tip number 3 is super easy, but it's one that I find makes a big impact on the final result of my video, and that is EQing the audio. Now, depending on your voice or your mic, maybe you don't have to do much EQ or really any EQ at all, but I find with cheaper mics, they tend to be lacking a little bit in the lower end, so I go ahead and tend to add in some lower end into my audio. Now, I've been asked to do an EQ tutorial, how I EQ my audio. You can just pretty much take a look at this right here. This is usually how I go ahead and EQ most of my audio. I tend to boost the lower ends and boost the high ends just a touch while keeping the midtones either a little bit lower or at 0, so I don't really adjust those and just end up boosting the lows and highs. Something else that I also do is my voice really doesn't respond to super low frequencies and it doesn't respond to super high frequencies. So essentially when I'm talking like this, those aren't needed, so I completely pull those out or bring them down because hisses or hums can be hiding in those frequencies. So if they're not needed for my voice, I just tend to pull them out of the audio completely. Now, tip number 4 is a super easy one, but it's one that I actually didn't do for quite a while, and it makes me wonder why, because it saves so much time, and that is just as simple as creating presets. Now, like I just talked about audio with equalizers, I actually have an audio preset that I saved. So when I go and shoot a video, I don't have to go back and remake that every single time, so I can easily just go and drop it right onto my video. Also, one other thing is it helps make your videos a lot more consistent, especially if you're saving color grading presets, then you're using the exact same color grade on pretty much all your videos. Now, again, from shot to shot, you may have to tweak it just a little bit, but it is one thing that will help save you a ton of time in Premiere Pro. Really quick, if you don't know how to save a preset, just go to whatever effect you want to save, right click it, and hit save preset. Now, the last and final one isn't so much a tip as it is a technique, and that is use L&J cuts. Now, of course, you're not going to be able to use these all the time, but when it does apply, they are great to use. Now, for the longest time, I watched other people's videos and wondered what just makes their videos flow so smoothly. And often I find that when I would use L&J cuts, it would make my videos flow a lot better. Now, what is an L&J cut? Well, essentially, a J cut is when an audio from the next clip is going to start before you see that clip, and a L cut is going to be where you see the next clip before the audio starts. Now, what is this good for? A lot of times in dialogue scenes, you will be watching someone talk, and right before they're finished talking, you'll notice that the camera will switch over to the person that they're talking to. Just like if you're sitting down watching two people having a conversation in real life, you would be watching this person talk, and right before they're finished, you would look at the other person to see what the reaction is to what the person just said. Another thing it is really good for is if you're filming with one camera, if you use this right, it can make it feel like there's 2, 3, or more cameras. I've done this a lot of the times when I'm shooting videos for people and I only have one camera. I can make it feel like there's more than one camera, especially if you shoot things right. But that's pretty much it for this video. If you did enjoy it, be sure to hit that like and subscribe button down below. I also just hit over 300 subscribers, so thank you very, very much. Also, I should be having a giveaway coming up here soon, so be sure to hit the bell notification down below to be notified when that comes out. But like I said, that's pretty much it for the